Well, back to our top story this morning. The South Carolina shocker. Newt Gingrich snags a decisive primary win. So did Mitt Romney hand over the Palmetto State, or did Newt take it away? Let's ask our political panel. Kerearos Zuras is a former advisor to President George W. Bush. Charles Butler is a conservative talk show radio host, and Julie Roginsky is a Fox News contributor. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Kerearos, let me start with you. Was this about Mitt Romney's loss or Newt Gingrich's victory?
I think it was about Newt Gingrich's victory. Now, look, Romney stumbled, had some problems answering a few questions, really tripped up on his tax return, answering that question. But Newt came out and answered the questions that the voters really wanted to know about. Okay, first of all, he opened up huge by attacking the media about the question about his his affair that was 10 years ago. And then he hits all the social issues. He did really well with the Juan Williams question. Then he talked about the economy and getting people back to work, and then started pointing out the failures that Obama's had in his administration, growing the government, the economy failing, the unemployment and all that. And I think that really resonated with the voters of South Carolina and the American public in general, and I think that's why he won.
It's amazing we're talking about presidential politics, and Juan Williams and John King are so heavily factored into this. Some say this is a gut reaction. Listen to what Dick Harpootlian said. He's the head of the Democratic Party in South Carolina. Here's what he said about what happened last night.
The fire in the belly, the visceral feeling you get from watching Newt and listening to Newt is overwhelming, sort of a milquetoast approach by Romney.
Is that ultimately what's at play here, Charles? A visceral reaction that the voters are having to Mitt Romney and to Newt Gingrich?
Well, I think I have the same reaction to Newt Gingrich. I like what Newt does. I like the kind of energy he brings to the debate. Romney, he's kind of plastic. We don't know where he is from one moment to the next. Very unemotional, very detached. And I guess that's part of, the businessman in him. But I think for our politicians and for our leaders, we need people who have some emotion and some engagement in the real issues.
The next 2 days are absolutely essential for Mitt Romney, Julie. He's got the debate on Monday. He's got a speech before the State of the Union on Tuesday. How does he change that notion that we're hearing so much about?
I don't know, other than a personality transplant, because I think what Charles said is absolutely right, and what Dick Harpootlian said is absolutely right. This guy doesn't inspire people. He's not a fire-in-the-belly guy. Newt goes out there, he throws the red meat to the base. People love him because they can relate to what he's saying. Romney, I think, is so overcoached. If I were Romney, I would take a week off from debate prep, because he's so overcoached. He's so talking pointed out to some extent that you're almost,
you do get that feeling.
You're looking at him and thinking, oh my God, if somebody was
too many consultants.
Exactly right. If somebody were to ask Romney a question that he wasn't prepared for, as Rick Santorum did on something that people really don't care about, which is felon voting rights. I mean, maybe some people do. He got all flustered because it's something he wasn't prepared for. Well, what's your visceral reaction, Mitt? What do you feel about it? He's in his mind. He's sitting there thinking, I don't know what demographic would relate to my answer and how would the polling. It's not, having prepped candidates for debates. You can't be overcoached, and he looks like he's overcoached.
My first sports analogy of many this morning. Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski learned to be the best coach when he stopped overcoaching his players. He let them go out there and win or lose on their own. Kerearos, is it wise though for Romney to be, for the most part, focused on Obama and not distinguishing himself from Newt Gingrich?
I think that it's going to be hard now for him to. He's already established his positions. Now, moving forward, how is he going to retract from that? He has to focus on attacking Obama's failed policies and what he's done wrong and what he can do better, and not so much focus on the attacks on Newt Gingrich. We've had enough of that, and I think the separation occurred on the South Carolina debate, where they stopped doing that and they started focusing on message. And I think that's what he needs to stick on. And to the point here, he's got to speak from the heart. He is overcoached. He's got to be himself. People want to see that you get angry. They want to see that you're happy.
In the belly.
They want to see that you smile, that you cry. They want to see that you're like them.
There was a lot of fire in that belly from Newt Gingrich, Charles. Though, how long can he continue this us against the elite media tactic? I'm going to be honest. We saw it yesterday here on our air when there was nothing even approaching attacking the former speaker. How long can he use that in his favor?
Well, I think the question yesterday from was it who asked
it was Clayton.
Clayton, yeah, Clayton. And I think what the speaker was saying was, we've already covered this. I have thousands of pages of documents online for you to review.
To the
Why are
question,
we still dealing with
how long can he continue that winning line?
I think it's only...
The liberal media won't tell us how to vote. How long will it work?
I think it's only when it's appropriate, when the people see that it's appropriate. When it's not appropriate, it's going to backfire on him. And I think right now people perceive it as being appropriate.
Is it a winning strategy, Julie?
Yes, it certainly seems to be, because I think a lot of people in the Republican base feel that the media conspires against them, that they only talk about issues that they want to talk about, that they're not as, fair and balanced as they'd like them to be. So of course, it's Newt Gingrich has a pulse on what the Republican base wants, better than any candidate in the race right now, much better than Mitt Romney, who as we said before, is too overcoached. He knows what the people want to hear, and he's giving it to them. I mean, he's throwing the red meat out there, and it's a brilliant strategy, but I think for him, it's not even a strategy. I think it's his gut.
He's sincere.
He's sincere about it.
Two debates this week, everything can change really quickly. Who wins Florida?
I'm going to say that I think Romney's going to still win Florida because he's got a better organization.
Charles. Newt.
for sure.
2 Newt and 1 to Romney. Romney with an 18-point lead and the average of all the polls going in. Fascinating stuff. We will continue to debate all of this for the next several hours. Guys, what's next?
We've got the videotape. We're going to hold them to their Florida predictions.
We sure